says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you loving is the one you loving?
Retired NFL star Michael Oher, whose life was chronicled in The Blind Side, award-winning movie 2009, petitioned Tennessee courts with allegations that a central element of that story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself. The 14-page petition filed in Shelby County probate court alleges that Sean and Leah Ann Toohey, who took Oher into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after he turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name. The petition further alleges that the Tooheys used their power as conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their two birth children millions of dollars in royalties from the Oscar-winning film that earned more than $300 million, while Oher got nothing. He got nothing. He got nothing. Nothing? Oh, my goodness. Michael Harriot. Nothing.
Like, this is almost literal, like a metaphor for the case for reparations, right? Like, he went out
Yo,
and did all the work, and the white people sat at home and just wrote a document, and because of the document, they could take all of his stuff and not ever have to pay him. And the crazy, like, the most interesting part of it is, like, it's how he says they described it to him. It's like, no, don't worry about it. Like, we kind of adopting you because you 18 though. Like, we just doing it for adoption for 18 years old. We'll call it a conservatorship and we'll control all of your money. And the crazy part is, like, all throughout his career, they kept this conservatorship and controlled his money. Like, at a certain point, you knew that you were just robbing this dude, right? And what he said is, like, the teams would say, like, what are you doing? Giving them this money. And then, like, he said, like, the way they portrayed him made teams worry that he was not that bright, because they portrayed him as like a doofus when he was like a scholar in college.
Well, he wasn't that much of a scholar because he signed over his damn everything. Like, read the contract. I go straight to the portion about money and how we divvy this up in every contract. That there's always that page, right? And
yeah,
I read with a fine tooth comb. This is crazy.
Yeah, but like, when you 18 though, and you think you can trust people, like, I don't know, like, because 18 is an arbitrary age, really, to be making financial decisions, lifetime decisions, where you weren't, especially when someone wasn't brought up in the kind of environment where they would even understand what they were doing. Like, who at 18 understands the difference between a conservatorship and adoption? And he was told that it was like an adult adoption. It just had a different name. So, like, I can't really blame him for the initial signing, but all of those years of them, like, just basically siphoning money out of his career. Oh man, I can't.
Can we have this conversation? Because I feel like this whole nation and maybe the world is based upon people with moderate to low talents exploiting people with amazing and giant genius talents, and then convincing those people with giant genius talents that their talents aren't that valuable, and that, if not for me, you wouldn't have this record on the radio. If not for me, you wouldn't have this movie. You wouldn't be a household name. You wouldn't be in the NFL if we didn't open our home, which might be true, but you can't teach the 6 foot, whatever, 310 pounds. You can't teach that. I'm sorry. You can't, there's no place you're going to teach it. But at the same time, you benefited. And so I'm constantly in battle with folk around what's fair. Talent should always come from, like, I I'm modeling because I'm talent, right? So I'm always going to lean into talent getting the vast majority of the money, and the folk that negotiate should get a little bit of the money, not even 15%. I think that's too much, if I'm being honest. You shouldn't be paying a manager and an agent and all. You're the talent. There's none of this. So somebody's eating off of you forever. My first book deal, that agent got way more money than I did. I got to work for hire. He's still eating off of that book. Wow. And you're supposed to be representing me, right? I'm in my 20s. Again, don't know the business, but he has 15% for the life. I got $25,000. And that was a New York Times bestseller. So like, I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, this is all right. Never again. I learned quickly, but it's wild.
But what's interesting to me about it is not like this specific incident, but like he went into, they had to apparently go into a court and a clerk of court, and then the judge had to look at, like, all of those people are evidence that the system allowed them to do it. It's not like some people just got this dude to sign a piece of paper. Like the agents knew it, and the people at the bank knew it, and people like all of those people were like, yeah, I mean, let them steal, right? And somewhere along the line, it's almost impossible to believe that every single person who knew about this didn't say, hey man, like, you gotta stop this. You must stop these people from stealing from you. Like, it's cool. Like, it's your fault if you leave your door open and somebody comes in your house and rob, but they'll make the person who robs you not a robber.
Right.
And if everybody sees these people going in and out of your house, stealing your stuff every day, then it's, I can't not blame you. But at some point, somebody should have said, hey man, close your door, man. Lock your door. They stealing from you.
I'm sure somebody did, and he didn't listen. He said he discovered the lie February of 2023. He said he just now found it out when he learned that the conservatorship that he consented to put him in this situation. But I to your point though, in both, and I feel like we have a responsibility to know all of the things. We can't just be talented. We have a responsibility to know. I stopped dealing with agents. I know you're in the book space. After my second book, I think I didn't have an agent anymore. There were only 2 books in my career that I actually had an agent, and one was forced upon me, because I'm like, I can read and I know where the money part is in the contract and the time and deliverables, and I know all of this can be upended and negotiated, and I know where the negotiation points are. So I'm not paying somebody 15% to negotiate this ever. Period.
Right. I think it is upon us to kind of, I mean, that's what this whole writer's strike is about, right? Like, you can just create something out of your head and somebody else makes money off of it in perpetuity, and it ain't yours no more.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one